Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full practice. This week, we're working with the theme of simplicity. And we're going to focus a bit on shoulders and stability, strength, and mobility. And I'll weave this theme and this focus into the class, where we're going to explore a wide variety of postures. So if this is something you like, please subscribe, because I do a different class every week with a different focus and a different theme. So to get started, just find yourself in a seated position that feels comfortable, but you want to engage in the pelvic floor. We call that Mula Bandha, just enough for support. And that means root lock. And then above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in and get that feeling of lift, or Uddiyana Bandha, and that means flying upwards. And then at the top of the spine, just gently draw the chin down. We call that Jalandhara Bandha, or chin lock. And now with the bandhas engaged, you have support from the inside, so you can release the hands, and we'll just begin to focus on the breath. So you can close your eyes and just visualize how the rib cage expands on an inhalation, and then on an exhalation, the rib cage relaxes. Again, inhale, focus on that rib cage, and exhale. And one more time, inhale, feel the rib cage expand, and exhale. Notice how the rib cage relaxes. And let's take the hands together in prayer position by the heart. We'll vibrate together with the mantra Om, and then I'll go through the quotes on simplicity. Inhale. Om. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. The greatest step towards a life of simplicity is to learn to let go. Simplicity is not about deprivation. Simplicity is about a greater appreciation for things that really matter. Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify, simplify. Simplicity clears the space for the soul to breathe. Simplicity. In yoga, it's so important, especially in this physical practice, because if we're always striving, we're not really meeting our bodies where we are, because every day is different. You may have slept funny one night and your shoulder is hurting. So just not to push, but to get the most out of every pose and appreciate every single one. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll come onto all fours and just very slowly coming through these cat-cows. So inhale, allow the spine to work here as you stretch the front. And then exhale, pull the belly in as we start to stretch the back. And then inhale, and just be aware of what's going on in your body today. How does it feel? And then exhale and round the spine. And then come to neutral and pause for a moment. Just hover the knees for a moment. And as you do that, feel your shoulders, right? You're pushing into the ground so you're not collapsed. So hover, and you might even feel some abdominals here. And then take it back to downward facing dog. And once we're in downward facing dog, just take some time to adjust. Now I want you to bend the knees and notice, can you really open the shoulders? So it's like I'm trying to really straighten my arms, roll the shoulders away from my ears, and get my back really long so I'm not up here. And then I see if I can maintain that as I try to reach the heels back. And if the heels are lifted, that's okay. And if you need to keep your knees bent for a bit, that's okay too. Now roll the shoulders away from your ears, really reach and breathe. Try to lift your belly and just notice, can you find some openings? Keep it simple, but yet it's deep. And then slowly, let's walk up to the front. Taking your time, pressing down through your hands, lightly walking up. You could have your feet about hip width apart or a little wider if you needed to. Grab your elbows and just let your body hang. You could bend your knees, or you could have your legs straight. Just depends on what you're feeling in your body. Notice I'm just dangling the head,
letting the neck be free, and then release the hands. You could bend the knees here as we slowly curl up the spine, pulling the belly in for support, stacking one vertebra on top of the other as you curl all the way up. And once the head arrives, roll the shoulders down and back and just pause for a moment. And then we step everything together for Samasatihi, standing still and straight. And we're going to start with our sun salutations. But before we do, I always practice with a set of yoga blocks and a little towel, but you could use a yoga belt, or you don't have to use any props. But for me, they're nice to modify and to keep things simple. So inhale, reach up. Let the shoulders elevate and they roll away from your ears as you reach. And then exhale, fold. Feel the belly pull in, hands down. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take this back to a plank. Hold the plank for a moment. Notice, are you sinking? Is your butt up? Can you get that tail under? And get the shoulders nice and wide. Pull the belly in. I'm going to come down to the knees because I can keep this line better as we lower. And then rise up. Now we're going to come through to upward facing dog. So now we're in more of a back bend. So push the feet down, take the tail under, lift the sternum, gaze down the nose and up, and then we'll take it back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Roll the shoulders away from your ears, really reach. If you need to bend the knees to get more length in the upper body, then do that. Breathe, inhale. Pay attention to the breath. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Very slowly making your way up. You can press down. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Reaching the arms, reach. And exhale, hands down. One more Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Feel how the belly lifts when you fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back to plank. Hold the plank, and then let's lower. Feeling width in the shoulder blades here too, as you push back up, and then come through. Inhale, feel the back bend. Press down, lift the sternum up, tail under, and we'll take it back downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, reach. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then let's make our way up to the front, pressing down, lifting, trying to stay really light. And drop the head. And then inhale, lengthen, reach. And exhale, hands down. Now we come into Surya Namaskar B. I'm going to use the blocks for this because it gives me some nice height. And reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. I'm going to lightly hop back. Try to keep your shoulders over your wrists as best you can. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise. And come through. Really roll the shoulders open and lift the sternum, tail under, and take it back downward facing dog. Let's step into a high lunge. So step your right foot forward. We're going to bend the back knee and take your drishti down a little bit. Bend the back knee, engage these under the butt muscles. Now let's take angel arms here. So here the shoulders are going down, and there's still a sense of widening even though there's retraction as you go back. Now start to straighten your back leg. Reach your arms, elevate your shoulders, externally rotate, breathe, and rise up, and reach, and take the hands down. And let's go ahead and lower. Rising up. Find a nice inhalation here as you lift the sternum, shoulders away from your ears, lift, and we'll take it back downward facing dog. And we'll do the left side. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Find that gaze point a little down. We'll bend the back knee for a moment and tuck that butt under, taking angel arms so the shoulders are down, but there's a sense of widening. Start to straighten your back leg as you go back, and then reach. Elevate the shoulders now, externally rotate, reach, reach,
And then rising, reaching forward, taking the hands down, stepping back, and then we'll go ahead and lower, belly in, rise, and come through, lift the sternum, and exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll pause here, breathing, inhale, really reaching. Notice it's a little easier if you're using the blocks. You'll notice you might be able to get your heels down a little bit more, and you might get more reach in the shoulders. Breathing, inhale, and exhale. And it's also a little bit easier to lift up, push down with the hands, lift up, and fold, or walk up. Bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. One more. Bend the knees, reach the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back, lift up. And then let's go ahead and lower. Exhale, rising up, coming through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to come to warrior one. So step the right foot forward, the back foot comes down. Turn your ribs forward and reach. Feel the shoulders elevate, externally rotate. Hands can come together maybe. Reach up to go back. And then reach. And take the hands down, stepping back. And let's go ahead and lower. Exhale. And rise up. And come through. Inhale, lift the sternum. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's go to the other side. Inhale. The back foot comes down, the ribs turn forward, reach those arms, lift up, exhale, take it back. And then inhale, rising up, reach the arms, take the hands down, stepping back. Let's go ahead and lower, and rise, and come through. Inhale here, and exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Really reaching. See if that got a little better. Inhale. Exhale, keeping the lift of the belly. Couple more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. You can lightly walk up or lift and fold. Bend the knees. Reach the arms. And come to stand. Samasatihi. Let's go ahead and step the feet out hip width. Just take a moment to notice. Can you get your pubic bone and belly button on the same plane so your butt's not sticking out and it's not tucked under? You're nice and neutral. And then from there, let's go ahead, take your hands on your hip sockets right about here, right? As you start to come forward, notice, can you deepen that crease? Keep the back engaged. So it's not rounding, and only go to a point where you can keep your legs straight and then take your hands on your shins for a moment. Pull the belly in, activate the muscles in the front of the legs so that we stretch the backs, and then just bow in. You can use your upper body, so roll your shoulders away from your ears and start to use the lats, parts of the back, to pull yourself in more. Try to straighten your legs as best you can. Breathe. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the arms out, reaching up. And exhale, let's step everything together in Samasatihi. And now I'm gonna arrange the blocks for some standing poses. So I'll just put one in the front and one in the back. And then we'll go ahead and step out. And let's come into Trikonasana. So I turn the back foot in, the front foot out. I reach the arms. Inhale, exhale. I'm gonna move the block so it's under my armpit, and then I'm gonna really work on this shoulder. I'm gonna roll the left shoulder open as I lengthen and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Notice, can you open that shoulder? And then inhale, rise up. Now we're gonna come into warrior two, but let's open the shoulders here by flipping the hands. Maybe you wanna go a little longer in your stance. So you really, by flipping the hands, you feel that external rotation. And now keep that, turn the hands and gaze over the fingertips. Breathe, inhale. I'm working on opening opening that front hip. And from here, we'll take it into Utthita Parsvottanasana. So you could take your hand here, you could be here, or you could use the block. And then we're gonna take this top arm, feel how the shoulder blade finds its way as you circle the arm and reach. So it's externally rotating, it's elevating, and then I turn my right ribs to the left, reach, and gazing down my nose, but up towards my hand, and then inhale, rise up. Let's go to the other side. So Trikonasana, inhale, exhale. I'm gonna move the block so it's under my armpit. And then with this top arm, I'm gonna notice, can I roll that shoulder open? Feels really nice when you do that. It opens this whole sternum. Breathe. Inhale, rise up. And you might need to go a little longer for Warrior Two, but let's flip the palms. Bend the front knee, and notice by flipping the palms, you can really get that external rotation. And then keep that, but take the hands down as you take your gaze over the left fingertips and just breathe. Feel all this openness here. And then we'll come into Utthita Parsvottanasana, so you could go here or here. I'm going to use the block. And as you circle this arm, feel the shoulder goes right in its place. So right now it's a little down, but now it starts to elevate and externally rotate, and then I turn. Feels really nice, side body. Breathe. Maybe you want to gaze up, maybe you gaze straight ahead, but it's down the nose and up. And then let the arm drop as you rise up. And then let's come into Prasarita Padangusthasana. So we'll turn the toes straight ahead or maybe a little inward. Take your hands on your hip sockets again and start to come forward. Feel that crease deepen as you come forward. Let's take the hands down, inhale, and then exhale. Walk the hands in a little bit and see if you can get your head down. You could use a block for your head if you weren't quite making it to the floor. Breathe, inhale. Now roll your shoulders away from your ears, so they're not here, away from your ears. And breathe, engage the legs. Engage the front of the legs to stretch the back of the legs. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's let the arms come out to the side and up. Let's just change the feet for goddess, and we'll take the angel arms. So feel how you come into angel arms, the shoulders roll down and back, and you feel the chest, all of the sternum open, and just sink in this pose. Notice what that feels like. And let's change the hands, and notice if by simplifying, maybe you can go deeper. Just keep it simple. Breathe, and then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to do 2 revolved poses, so only take it as far as your body can go and wants to go. But twists are so nice on the spine. They open things up and create space. So we're going to square the hips and face both hips face the same direction. We'll reach up with the left arm. We'll come into Parivrtta Trikonasana. So as you come in, you're pulling that right hip back as best you can. Reach forward as much as you can. Now try not to twist the hips. See if you can, if they do a little, that's okay, but you do the best you can. And then turn the ribs. Now this top arm, you want to externally rotate. Roll that shoulder open. Make sure it's not going forward. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up. We're going to stay on this side and come into, we're going to work our way into Parivrtta Parsvottanasana. So we'll come down on the back knee. If you needed to, you could put your little towel or a blanket under the knee, but just try to be forward of the kneecap. Let's first come into Anjaneyasana to open things up. So keeping the butt under, we'll take angel arms, which is the shoulders are down, they're depressed and they're retracted slightly, but they're not squishing together. So you come down. And then from here, at some point, reach the arms, elevate, externally rotate, reach back and breathe, back and up. And then inhale, rise up. Now, we're going to take it to Parivrtta Parsvottanasana. So as you come across, this is the twist, you can roll that left shoulder forward. It helps sometimes. It helps you get in nice and tight. So just go to the extent that feels good in your body, and then press your hands into prayer position. So the hands come together. Keep your gaze down for balance, and then rise up. Now, as we twist, I want you to focus on rolling that right shoulder open. And you might take your gaze up, or you might keep it down. Use your butt, rise up. And let's go to the other side. So from here, Parivrtta, Trikonasana, reach your right arm up, pull the left hip back, and reach. And then from here, take your hand down. You could also simplify by staying up a little higher. And then let's reach the left arm up, roll the shoulder open. I want you to really feel that. Breathe, roll the shoulder open. And then inhale, rising up. And then now we're going to take the back knee down. So make sure you're a little in front of the kneecap, or you could be on a little pad if you needed to. And then we'll find Anjaneyasana first before we come into Parivrtta, Parsvottanasana. So lunge forward, feel that butt under on that right side. Find your angel arms, reaching. And then at some point, reach up, breathe, 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 and then rise up. And then to come into Parivrtta Parsvottanasana, we're going to take that right shoulder a little forward. You can roll it in a little bit. Now I forgot to mention on the other side, you could stay here and simplify, or we're going to tuck the back toes under and lift up and turn, rolling the left shoulder open, 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 and then rise up. And then we'll take a step up to the front. Samasatihi. And now I'm going to move the blocks, and we'll come into Utthita, Hasta, Padangusthasana, or the standing hand to foot pose. So keeping it simple, you could just bend your knee, right? And hold on, and you could stay here, and you could work like trying to just straighten your leg, but using the wall. And then we're going to go ahead and open. You could keep your hand on your waist, or you could use the wall. Keep your drishti down. And then let's just bring it back. Just keep it simple. Keep the leg out there. You can always use the wall. And down. Let's do the other side. So we're just going to bend the knee. Hold on to the toe. You could use the wall. And keep your gaze down a little bit. So it keeps your focus. You could open. You could keep your hand on your waist. Just keep it easy. Bring it back, and then just hold it out there. You could always hold on and take it down. So let's come into tree pose, which is a really standard pose. So let's keep it simple. Let the right leg come up. Let it open out. You could always use your wall, right? Keep your gaze down for now and breathe and just stay here. Or explore. Maybe changing your drishti, maybe looking up, maybe coming down. And we'll do the other side. So the left leg comes up. Here, you could use your wall, keeping the gaze down, or you could start to change things up. You could reach up, you could open, you could stay here, breathing, slowly coming down, and bringing everything together. And we'll come up to the front of the mat. Samasati. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And let's take the body back to down dog for a moment. And just notice what's going on in your down dog. Now from here, I'm going to take us into Vrikshasana, but I'm just going to demo. And then I'm going to make it really simple so that everyone can do it. So Bakasana, or side plank pose, starts in a down dog. And then you come forward a little bit. And you want to keep your shoulder almost over your wrist. It might be a little in back. And then you turn to the outer edge of the foot. And here it is, right? And some people will go here. Some people will go here and lift way up. But you want to keep your hips forward and not back, lifting up. Some people will go here and down, and then we come back into down dog. Now I'll show you a way that everyone can do. And you only move forward when you feel like it's safe and like you have the support to do so. So this time, we're just going to start on all fours. And then we're going to roll to the outer edge of that right knee. And then this foot is down, this left foot. And then I just reach up. Roll this shoulder open. That's what you need. You need strong shoulders here. So you really want to roll that shoulder open and lift up. And there's your Vrikshasana. If you're feeling good, just straighten your back leg. Now you're on the outer edge of the foot rather than the knee. If everything's going well here and you feel like butt's not going back and you're okay, you might be able to go here. And this is terrific. But so is this. And so is this. So we'll go to the other side. Start on the knees, right? And then we're going to turn. You can put your foot down in front of you and just reach up. Now roll, you can see the back here. Roll the shoulder away from your ear and really push. Everything's going well. You go to the outer edge of the back foot. Everything's going well here. Make sure your butt's not going back. That's a big error. That's a big thing that happens. So if that's the case, just keep your foot down so that your butt's not going back, or keep your knee down. And now we'll all come down and let's meet in child's pose. So open the knees, reach the arms forward. Make this child's pose about opening the shoulders. See if you can find that. You're reaching the butt back and the arms forward. Get as much length as you can. Breathe. Inhale. So if that got your heart rate up, then let this release it a little bit more. And then we'll come up onto the knees. And now let's come into puppy. So reach your arms forward, but the hips now are over the knees so you can melt the chest down to the floor more and feel more back bend and shoulder opening. Don't overdo, keep it simple. It should feel good in the shoulders, nothing pinchy. So let's come down to Sphinx pose. So my elbows, I have a sense of, they're under my armpits, but maybe I'm feeling like I'm pulling them apart a bit. So those shoulder blades are nice in my back. And then from here, I'm going to focus on the lower body for a moment. Keep your tail under, so the butt's not sticking out. Tail under, it's like my pubic bone is going in the direction of my heart. As I lift the belly, the legs are engaged. I'm pushing them down. And then I start to curl my spine. I'm using the muscles in my spine. So even though the hands are pressing a bit, see if you can lighten up on the hands and use your upper body a lot. Like you're not even using them maybe. And then come down. And then from here, let's go ahead and make our way to all fours. And just slowly. And let's come into, I've heard this called bird dog. I don't know why, but you're gonna reach your right arm and your left leg and see if you can maintain your balance and down. And try not to twist in your hips or your shoulders, so you reach and back. And now let's do it again. Reach the right arm and the left leg. And then we're gonna bend the knee and see if you can grab and lift up. Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. And then reach and bring it back down. Let's do the other side. Reach the right arm, the left leg, bend the knee, and lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. And then reach and back down. And now we're gonna come to seated. And if you couldn't quite grab your foot, that's okay. You just do the best you can. And let's come into Dandasana. So Dandasana or staff pose. If you find that your back is rounding, it's okay to bend your knees a little and try to get up. And you can also sit on a blanket or a block if your hamstrings are really tight. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana. And this is also another modification. You could use a towel or a yoga belt. We'll bend the knees, get the spine really lengthened so I'm not rounded in my low back. And then from there, do the best you can to straighten your legs and really pull the body forward so you're trying to get deep into the hip crease. For some of you, this is a big help. Others, maybe you want to interlace your hands or grab a wrist and really get the side body long and surrender here. Breathe. Straight legs. Inhale, shoulders away from your ears. Breathe.
Breathe. Breathe.
Forward bends are about release. So see if you can find release. And then we rise up. And then from here, let's go ahead and bend the right knee for Akranadhanurasana. So we're stretching out the hips a little bit. We'll pull the knee back into the armpit. Notice my spine is curling back a little bit. That's okay. We're really getting hip flexion here. We're bending the knee and pulling in. And then from here, and I'm trying to keep this like activated at the same time. Now I bring it across and I try to sit up and cradle. Notice, can you feel any stretch in your hips? Maybe you want to bend the knee and really lift up here. Try to open that right knee as best you can. As best you can, just sitting up. And then let's go ahead and take that to Janu Sirsasana. So we'll put the foot to the inside of the left leg, and then we'll turn. And same thing here. If your back is rounded, your hamstrings are tight, you could bend the knee, use your prop, and start to straighten, and then surrender. Some of you can grab the foot. Some of you can grab your right wrist. And if whatever variation you're doing, you really want to get a sense of pull on that right side. So the shoulders are elevated, they're rolling away from your ears. And you're getting a nice stretch in the shoulders, but all the way down to the hips, and maybe on the right side, and maybe the hamstrings on the left side. Breathing. Inhale, lengthen, and rise up. I love that pose because there's so many things going on. Even though it's a very simple pose. It's not. It is and it's not. Pull the knee back. Because I think simplicity doesn't mean that it's not deep. It can still be deep. So pull this back. And then let's go ahead and bring this across and sit up. And you're drawing in to sit up now. And you really want to feel a nice stretch in here. The hips. And you could bend this knee for support and lift way up. Way up. Just notice, can you open that knee out? And then from here, we're going to take it to Janu Sirsasana. So we come in, and then same thing here. If your back was rounded, you could bend the knee, use your prop and straighten, and maybe you stay up a little bit, or maybe you can grab the foot, do the same thing, or maybe a wrist. Shoulders elevate, but they externally rotate. Breathe, inhale. And exhale. Notice where you feel the stretch, all the different places. Simple but deep. Breathe. And then inhale, lengthen, and exhale, release. And let's come to Dandasana, sitting up. Let's bend the right knee for Marichyasana C, which is a nice twist. So there's an energy of your right butt towards your right heel as you start to turn, and keep the left leg active. So we're just going to do the crook of the elbow and sit up. If you really wanted to, you could take your arm on the other side, but I'm just going to stay here today, keep it simple, because this feels good in my shoulder today. And keep that energy of the sitting bone down, and you're turning the left ribs to the right. Notice, can you lift up and then turn? And really want to roll that right shoulder away from my ear as I turn. Well, I'm getting some nice sensations in the back. Turn, and then come back. Twists are really good when you don't force them and you allow the breath to take you around. So you find a nice shape here, the sitting bone to the heel, good form, and then you can take your elbow, keep your right leg activated, lift up, and then exhale. With the shoulders down, you can come across, turning. Sometimes keeping it simple is really nice. Sometimes when you get all complicated and you start to bind your body, it's the shape isn't as nice, but sometimes that's fun too. But exhale, you can get so much out of a pose if you keep it simple. Inhale and exhale. And let's come to Dandasana for a moment. Now let's come to Padangusthasana. So we'll take the feet together. You can move your butt up a little bit. Just get a sense that you're opening your feet like a book, and sit up tall. And if your legs are way up high, just work to try and open them. You can use your hands, or if this is accessible for you, you could start to hinge forward, but only go as far as feels good in your body. At some point, you could just surrender. And just relax as much as you can, breathing. And then inhale, we'll rise up. And now we'll do a nice, easy variation where you take it out to a bigger diamond. You could use your block if you wanted to. Sitting up tall at first and then rounding. Allow the spine to round. Drop your head and just breathe. Some of you might go lower. Just breathe. You're not forcing your knees to open. You're just feeling a nice stretch wherever you're feeling it in your hips. And relax your shoulders here. We're not doing anything with the shoulders now. And then inhale, slowly rising up. Now we're going to set our blocks up for a supported back bend. So I'm going to have one that's going to be right at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades and the other one at my head. And I'm going to adjust them as I go back. So let's start to curl back. So this is a spine stretch as you curl back. So we'll find that right at the edge of the shoulder blades. And the other one is under the head. And you want to make sure that it's right at the place where the sternum is right on top of it. It's matching right below it. It's supporting the sternum. And then feel the lift of the sternum as you reach your arms over. So now really elevate the shoulders, externally rotate, and feel that length. You could close your eyes if you wanted to. Feel as though your butt's coming under, it's coming towards your head so that you're really arching and it feels nice. It's not too much because you're supported. And breathe. Just notice what's going on in your arms. As you inhale and exhale. And now go ahead and straighten the legs. We'll reach the arms and start to curl up. Pull the belly in and curl up. And then from here, we'll go ahead and come back for Setubandhasana. So start to curl back. And we'll bend the knees and take a breath in and exhale and lift up. Feel the power, the energy in the legs as you lift way up, as high as you can. You can even lift your heels if you wanted to. Make sure your neck is not forward, not back, right in the middle. And then let's slowly curl down. Keep the shoulders reaching. Try to keep your hands on the floor if you can. If the shoulders are open enough, you curl all the way down. All the way down. And let the hands come down. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it to the wall for Urdhva Dhanurasana because I feel like the shoulders are open enough and the front body's open enough, and it might feel really good just to do one press up into a back bend. So join me at the wall or do a couple more Setubandhasanas. See you there. So now I've made it over to the wall for Urdhva Dhanurasana, and I've set up my blocks. I like them at an angle. You could have them like this. But the reason I like the blocks is at an angle, sometimes it helps people's wrists. For me, it just gives me a little bit more lift so I can get more open in my shoulders. I feel like I get a deeper back bend, and I really like that. So I set both blocks up, and then I'm going to go ahead and lie down. And then I don't want my head to be all the way at the wall, just kind of between the blocks. And then I place my hands. Now the hardest part is lifting up. So we're going to get the same feeling in the legs as Setubandhasana, the pose before. We're really using the back of the legs to lift the pelvis up. And then we're going to really have to reach through the shoulders for the rest of the way and use the back muscles to lift up. So first come to the top of your head, engage your back and lift up. And then once you're here, try and roll the shoulders away from your ears and elevate. Now to feel more openness in the chest and the shoulders, you could walk in. If you were feeling that, try to get the back bend even. Notice where you're feeling it and lift up, 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 up as much as you can. Keep lifting, keep lifting. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then to come out, you could lift the heels and slowly curl the spine down. Curl the spine down. And hopefully that went well and felt great. We're just going to do one. And I'll meet you back at the mat. So now I just finished the back bend, and maybe you did a couple more Setu Bandhasanas, which is great. And we're going to come into a supported inversion. So I'm going to use the block, and we'll put it under the pelvis, and then let the legs come up. Feels nice to reverse the blood flow. Engage the legs and notice your butt sticking out, are the ribs out, or are you under this way? Can you come to neutral? And you should feel, it just should feel nice. Maybe you're feeling a good stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe you're just feeling relaxed. You could close your eyes here. Or those of you who want to, and it's not contraindicated for you to, come into shoulder stand if you'd like, or Halasana first. Make sure your neck is long. And it is a shoulder stand, so you want to really feel like you're on your shoulders and the shoulders are supporting your back. But make sure your neck is long. You're not here, you're not here. It's right in the middle. You're pressing down with the shoulders and lifting up. You could stay here and play around with variations, but I'm going to go ahead and take us down. So you could pause the video if you wanted to. You could come into Karnapadasana or whatever variations you want. But we'll all meet back on the block. And then slowly coming out of this. Let's go ahead and lift up off the block. And then for a moment, let's go ahead and just reach your arms over your head. Take the feet together, knees apart, and just feel this length. Reaching, opening the knees. You could close your eyes. You could stay here as long as you wanted and pause the video. You could even take your arms out to the side. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out, and we're going to end with a twist. So let's just lift the hips up. Shift the hips to the left. Let the knees come up and take them over to the right. Opening. Now take your time here. Let this shoulder roll open, but as the ribs come around. So you're turning the right ribs with your breath, and just notice it very easily. Simplicity. It just naturally finds its place. And then come back. And then let's lift the hips up, shift to the right. Let the knees come up, take them over. And now the right shoulder might come up, but very simply, with lots of ease, let it open. And then maybe take your gaze that way as you breathe. Turning the left ribs to the right, allowing the right shoulder to open. And then inhale, bringing everything back. You could finish by pulling the knees into the chest for a moment. And then let everything go. And just come into Shavasana. Very simple. Shavasana, simplicity. I have such appreciation for Shavasana. So just stay in that light. And you could stay here as long as you'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. But you could pause the video. Just become aware of your breath. And without changing the energy, you can move the fingers and the toes. And as you're ready, bending the knees. Finding your way into a fetal position and then pausing there for a moment. And very slowly making your way up to seated. And I always love to finish class the same way we started, and noticing the difference in your energy, in your body, in your mind. Can you stay in this place of simplicity and let it resonate in everything you do? Namaste.